So I've been watching Mid South Wrestling for like the past month and a half now, and I can easily tell y'all that first of all, I love it. For one, if you want to check out Mid South Wrestling, it's on Peacock on the WWE part, and I want to say it's on the Territories one. And the reason why I'm watching Mid South Wrestling is because that was a company that was like set in in Louisiana, my neck of the woods. You know what I'm saying? So you get a chance to sort of see like what indie wrestling in Louisiana looked like before it was taken away. It took place. A lot of the events took place in Shreveport, Louisiana, and there will be wrestlers over there from like it had Dusty Rhodes. It had while it also had the stars like Dusty Rhodes, Andre the Giant. It also had like Killer Khan and all these others. They also had like wrestlers that you probably never even heard of or probably don't remember, like Buddy Landell, Jesse Barr, Frank Monty, Sal Ernesto Jr., Rick Ferreira, who was oftentimes the referee. You had just gets kind of funny referee Rick Ferreira. Let's try saying that 3 times fast. There was also like a lot of wrestlers over there with the light from the likes of like that era, including the Junkyard Dog and Mr. Olympia, the Masked Assassin and the Grappler, and Big Cat Ernie Ladd, and the like. And you get a chance to sort of see Bill Watts on commentary and Ted DiBiase. I'm at the part right now where Ted DiBiase just won the Louisiana Championship because he may or may not have used brass knuckles against Junkyard Dog. Now the whole thing about Junkyard Dog is that like when you hit him when you give him a punch, he'll immediately just you know what I'm saying? And it will literally look like it will like that was the thing that it will always happen. So when you see him like get laid out with a hit, the first thing you're thinking is, okay, that doesn't normally happen. It's like headbutting a Samoan and a Samoan falling down. If you headbutt a Samoan, you're that's rule number one right there. You don't headbutt a Samoan. But it was just like you got a chance to see, I got a chance to see Afa and Sika versus Junkyard Dog and Mr. Olympia. Oh no, Mike. I think his name. I forgot his name. Mike something. I forgot what it was. Not Mike Sharp. Not Iron Mike Sharp. It was somebody else. I think it was Mike Gordon or something, but I'll remember his name. I'll look him up again later. But the fact of the matter is that like, watching Mid South, it was like it's just basically saying you get it. It's just watching a little piece of wrestling history from my neck of the woods and being able to see, what was like this company, what it lacked in production because. Bro, they wouldn't even have like an entryway. You know what I'm saying? You would just see wrestlers like walking to the ring from they'll be off the screen and then they'll walk down to the ring. You know what I'm saying? But the wrestling was good. The wrestling was fun to watch. Like I said, I found myself being a really big fan of the likes of Buddy Landell and Jesse Barr and Frank Monty specifically. Also Coco Samoa and Junkyard Dog and Cobra and King Cobra and like wrestlers who I probably would have never seen, like wrestlers that I never saw in WWE or in WCW or the like. It was just like, granted you saw like granted you saw One Man Gang before he became the One Man Gang that y'all recognize after he did the 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 splash to he injured like Dick Murdoch and Big Cat Ernie Ladd. He debuted by crushing Ernie Ladd's knees with a splash to his knees. It was just like a whole bunch of cool stuff was happening at the time, and I just it was like got a chance to see Paul Orndorff like before he became what he became, and got a chance to see a wrestler by the name of Bob Root, who I'm pretty sure a lot of people would have loved because he was like the heel over there at the time. Like Bob Root was the heel, and I also like the fact that they didn't really have like a Mid South championship at the time. There was like the North American Championship, the Louisiana Championship, the Mississippi Championship, and the Tag Team Championships. And Louisiana title was held by Junkyard Dog, which is kind of why I remember asking a lot of older people who who was your favorite wrestler back then. A lot of them would say Junkyard Dog. And it was because, I'm watching it now and it's like Junkyard Dog was Louisiana champion for a long time. And plus, he was good. And he had the look, he had the ability, he had the skill. Plus, him and King Cobra were like maybe the two only black dudes in the company for like a while. I mean, there was Tom Jones who showed up every now and again, and like I said, Coco Samoa was there, but he's Samoan, so he's a like for me, this is gonna sound like a bit of a theme, but to me, Samoan and Black are kind of synonymous with each other. Um, but the fact of the matter is that like the more I'm watching Mid South wrestling, the more I'm starting to see wrestlers that like were, in my opinion, either a synonymous with today's wrestling, like I said, I got a chance to see the One Man Gang, and you got a chance to see a young Jim Ross commentate. You got a chance to see Ted DiBiase and Paul Orndorff and Precious Paul Ellering and the like. But then you also get a chance to see wrestlers that either didn't live long enough to become the stars that they could have been, like Buddy Landell, or you got a chance to see wrestlers who may or may not have who just probably just stopped wrestling entirely, like King Cobra, and well, like I said, wrestlers that like didn't become the stars that they were because they didn't live long enough. Was like Junkyard Dog and Big Cat Ernie Ladd and Buddy Landell and there was a lot of wrestlers I forgot his name, but he had a shirt that says "Don't call me Yellow." Hey, it's a yellow shirt. It's like I forget his name. It was Colonel something. I forgot his name already. But like I said, I've been watching Mid South Wrestling, and it just feels good to know that like I said, there was a tournament that was held in Baton Rouge, and they just, if for the most part, they was like talk about we're the tournament to crown the new Louisiana champion that took place in Baton Rouge, and as a native Baton Rouger, like hearing the city of Baton Rouge be said by name multiple times on commentary, it was just like, it's so surreal. It's like this. It's like the more I watch Mid South, the more I realize this was our company. This was ours, And to say that it took place in Shreveport, Louisiana, and you had the likes of Junkyard Dog, who is a black man, by the way. This is in the 80s. Dude, who is being cheered on by white audiences. It's just like, it's surreal to watch because once again, it's Louisiana. For those who don't know, Louisiana is super duper racist. But not 80. Louisiana's a lot less racist now than it was back then. So for them to be cheering on en masse, whenever you hear like, you would literally see people in the crowd like clapping and standing up and losing their minds. That was Junkyard Dog's theme song. And once again, they never showed the wrestlers walking down the entranceway. They would just literally show the ring and show the wrestlers walking down to the ring from the angle of the ring. Like, imagine if you have to like watch it, but it's just, imagine if they just shot imagine if they just shot a wrestler's entrance from hard cam, right? And it's just like, they never show the entranceway. They never show the Titantron. They don't show any of that. They just show the wrestler coming into the ring. Like, one time, you actually had a clip of Dick Murdoch when he was like actually walking down to the ring while his music was playing, and he literally put his gear on before he got into the ring. It was funny as heck. But that's what I'm saying, though. It was like, if you watched it, like, watching it, it makes me think of like indie companies and backyard wrestling companies and stuff like that. But like, it made me think, like, the way that it looked like it was ran like a backyard wrestling company. You know what I'm saying? But it was still, like, the wrestling was good. The production was good. The storylines were good. I'm currently at this part right now where, like I said, Ted DiBiase just turned heel by possibly, like, knocking out Junkyard Dog with with maybe some brass knuckles or something. We don't know what he had in his tights. Then you have like this other wrestler. His name is the Grappler. And what the Grappler does is, like, he has something in his shoe, and what he will do is he'll tap his toes down. He'll tap his toe down like 3 or 4 times to like load up the boot before he goes for a kick or something. It was awesome. One of my favorite things I really like to see is when Mr. Olympia, his finisher is a sleeper, and he will actually put somebody to sleep, and they'll be put to sleep, and then what he would do is he will sit them up. Like, after he wins the match, he will sit the person up and then just bam to wake him up. Like, you hit him, like he'll hit him, boom, wake up. It's like Mr. Olympia, and I just thought that was kind of cool. Like, the more I'm watching Miss South Wrestling. The more I'm watching it, the more I'm thinking to myself, like, we had, like, Louisiana had wrestling. Louisiana had, not only did Louisiana had wrestling, it had good wrestling. This was a star factory because, like I said, you had, like I said, you had Jesse Barr and like I said, Sal Ernesto Jr., Rick Ferreira, Bob Sweetan, which I would not go into further detail with about Bob Sweetan. But like, I got a chance to sort of see what old school Louisiana wrestling used to be, and I love it. I love it. Like, I'm watching I don't spoil myself about any of the episodes, so I'm just watching this. Like, I'm watching this through the eyes of, would I have liked this when I was a child? You know what I'm saying? Because, like, right now I'm watching Killer Khan, who is now the Louisiana champion. Boo! He's like the only wrestler to put Andre the Giant in the hospital. And you're just like, and it's like, now in my brain, I'm like, somebody has to take the title off of this dude. As a Louisianian, I don't want this guy representing my home state. And so I'm like, who's gonna be the guy to beat him, and stuff like that. But it's really cool to see, Ted DiBiase's heel turn. See George, you get a chance to see the Junkyard Dog like be who he is, and like, it was crazy. It's crazy to see them. Like, before, to put this in perspective, before I started watching them wrestle, they were just names on paper for me. Some of these cats were just names on paper for me and just pictures. You know what I mean? But now I get a chance to actually see them wrestle. And whenever I see Junkyard Dog hold somebody up for that power slam, I'm thinking to myself, it's over. It's over. Because he'll do that really big power slam and he'll like jump with it. You know what I'm saying? Or like when the grappler, does the toe kicks, I'm like, he's about to hit somebody with the boot. Or when the Masked Assassin, like, every single time the Masked Assassin just walks down to the ring, I'm just like, somebody got to hit this dude, because the way he did to Ernie Ladd, I didn't like that. It's just like, I'm starting to watch these shows, and it's starting to get to me. Like, I remember that I genuinely love wrestling, and this is good, but that's just what I'm saying. Like, I've been watching Miss South. I've been like excited. I literally get excited every single time I get ready for another episode. But yeah, I love Miss South. That's my hometown. That's my home company, and I'm just glad to be able to finally watch it. Okay, that's enough swooning for today. About to catch me on up another episode. Seriously, somebody got to take that title off of Killer Khan. Who's it gonna be?